We were able to get our hands on a 900 Global Ember, so here is a full review of what this gorgeous bowling ball looks like. Shout out to Champions Pro Shop in Owatonna and Mankato. That's the pro shop I work at. That's how we were able to get this Ember in Cove early so I could get reviews to you guys before they end up coming out. If you want to get your bowling balls drilled somewhere in Minnesota and you want a really good place or potentially have me drill them, make sure to come to Champions Pro Shop. But otherwise, let's get into the review. The Ember is a symmetrical pearl ball coming from 900 Global. It has a new RB82 cover stock. This is going to be a stronger cover stock at the end of the day. 900 Global does a 1 to 100 scale for all of its covers, so 82 is a little bit on the higher side. However, it's going to be a little weaker than that Cove cover stock, but stronger than a lot of their weaker equipment. Now, the core of this one is the Magna AI core from the Cove, 2.49 RG, which is pretty low for a symmetrical ball, and then an 0.44 differential, also a little bit on the lower side for a medium-ish performance piece. But what you're going to notice off the clips already, this thing has some angle to it. This really reminds me of like a 2019, 2020 Storm bowling ball. This thing likes to see friction and it likes to bounce off of the friction. Not too much, which is a good sign. There's been a couple balls I've seen recently where they really want to be angular off the friction and just never really are controllable. This one's very controllable. I was worried because that shot that you're seeing right now, I already did the Cove review when I'm doing this Ember review, and they already had some transition on it. So I was worried that the lanes were too cliffed, where there was too much oil in the middle, not enough on the outsides for a pearl ball like this to really look good. But it was actually really good. I was surprised. I was so surprised when I missed an oil. If I had the right hand position, this ball wanted to finish. And if I got it out to the friction a little too quick, it never really went through the face or Brooklyn. It actually just went high flush pretty cleanly as long as the hand position wasn't too crazy bad. So that was an awesome sign from this bowling ball just off of the rip to see, because I thought I was set up for failure bringing this ball in on a cliffed pattern, but it looked good. Overall, I feel like this is what Storm wanted the Phase AI to be. I think this really is the replacement of that bowling ball because strength-wise, it is in that middle sharp category. It's not as strong as a Zen, which we compare it to a couple of times, but it's not as weak as like a Road Warrior or a High Road 40 or an Ultimate Wrecker or something like that. I see it as that in-between, which is a spot that Storm really hasn't filled in like a year, 1 to 2 years at least, where now we actually have a true medium sharp middle of the road bowling ball that is going to be able to fit between a lot of your other equipment. So honestly, I do see the Cove in this as a pretty good 1-2 combo. I didn't think they would be out of box, just looking at them, throwing the Cove for a little bit, but they are a pretty good combo. In the video, I compare, like I said, the Ember to the Zen 25, and then I also compare it to the Gremlin. That's a brand new ball that fits below the Zen, in my opinion, and we can then really see what that ball does. So looking at the Zen, it hooks way too early for whatever's out right now. It just wants to hook instantly, and then it locks up and goes forward. The Zen looked awful. I had to move like 6 right just to hope that the Zen went through the pins the right way, and it was barely getting through the pins the right way. It was deflecting just that way too much because the core was so strong and that cover was so strong. I move over to the Gremlin, and that wanted to hook early as well, but it actually continued through the pins, which was a good sign. Kind of showed that that Gremlin is that step down from the Zen 25 if you need that. But then, comparing it to the Ember actually hooks even later than that Gremlin. I can see a fairly similar motion between the Gremlin and the Ember. I see the Ember as a little bit sharper, especially when you get it either into oil. It actually wants to continue, where that Gremlin sometimes doesn't want to continue that well. So I see that as a really good 1, 2, 3 in terms of Storm Pearl bowling balls. And then if you guys remember our Gremlin video, we then know the Vaporize is that step above something like this Ember. And then a couple of those other bowling balls from other companies, Evoke Hysteria, things like that, are going to be stronger. I see this as Storm's version of the Primal Rage Evolution. That's really the best comparison I can make to it, is that those two bowling balls really want to do very similar things, just from different companies. This is going to be the completely subjective part of the video, but this is the most fun I've had throwing a bowling ball in a really long time. Like, I've had a lot of my fair share of new bowling balls lately, or used ones that I drill up. It's always a fun time throwing it for the first time, and there's some I'm like, this isn't much fun. This doesn't seem that great for the conditions, things like that. This Ember was super fun to throw. I wanted to keep throwing. I actually bowled way too many games with this ball just because it was entertaining. It was fun to be able to watch the ball motion because if you threw a good shot, it was absolutely gorgeous, absolutely stunning what this thing did. You were sending messengers, you were tripping four pins with it. It was just entertaining to throw on this pattern. And will it look good on other patterns? I honestly don't know. It's a tough part with ball reviews is we don't throw on that many patterns in these things. But this ball was super fun for me. I'm excited to bring this to an actual tournament or to league in a couple of weeks whenever league kicks back off to really see what it does. Overall, this Ember is going to be your run-of-the-mill, typical, asymmetrical pearl bowling ball, middle of the road, right after your phase 2, your rock stars, your coves, your hammerheads, your lethal venoms, things like that. I am a really big fan of this one. If you have a gap in that middle part of your pearl portion of your bag, I think this could be a great option. This is also one of my favorite looking bowling balls of the year. It has some sparkle in it. The colors are gorgeous, just very much 10 out of 10 on that front. This ball is retailing right now $175. If you want to purchase one, I will have a link down in the description to Bowlers Mart. And if you use that link, I get a little bit of a kickback if you end up purchasing the ball. Huge thank you to anybody that's been using that so far or wants to in the future. If you do, let me know down below in the comments. But otherwise, this ball does release this Friday on August. I should have looked it up. 15th. It releases on August 15th. So if you're excited for this ball, you want to know more about it, please let me know down below in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one.